Have you heard that U.S. forces have been attacked 7 times in the last week? Yeah, I hadn't either, because the President of the United States has not said a single word about it. Nicole Wells is reporting, U.S. troops have been repeatedly attacked in Iraq and Syria in recent days. U.S. officials said Thursday, as Washington is on heightened alert for activity by Iran-backed groups, with regional tensions soaring during the Israel-Hamas war. Now, this raises a valid question. Who are these Iran-backed groups, and where are they? Well, there are several Islamic terrorist groups which Iran uses as like proxy militias to do some of their bidding. And they're all over the place, in Syria, in Iraq, in Yemen, in Lebanon, and you guessed it, in Palestinian territories. With tensions spiking in the Middle East, U.S. forces in the region are facing increasing threats as a Navy warship shot down missiles appearing to head toward Israel on Thursday, and American bases in Iraq and Syria were repeatedly targeted by drone attacks.
This morning, rising tensions after a U.S. Navy destroyer shot down 3 cruise missiles and several drones launched by Iranian-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen. For the first time, the U.S. taking military action to defend Israel. The Pentagon saying the missiles were launched from Yemen northward, potentially towards Israel.
We cannot say for certain what these missiles and drones were targeting, but they were launched from Yemen, heading north along the Red Sea, potentially towards targets in Israel.
These missile launches come as the U.S. is bolstering its firepower in the region, a second carrier strike group soon joining U.S. warships already in the Mediterranean, and additional fighter aircraft also being sent, all meant as a deterrent.
By posturing these U.S. naval assets and advanced fighter aircraft in the region, we aim to send a strong message intended to deter a wider conflict, to bolster regional stability, and of course to make it clear that we will protect and defend our national security interests.
The Houthi rebel leader had just warned the U.S. last week against intervening in the Hamas-Israeli conflict, threatening missile and drone strikes.
Later Thursday, a U.S. official said there had been an attack near Baghdad's airport, where U.S. forces are hosted. An array of other drone attacks over the past 3 days did target U.S. bases, including one in southern Syria on Thursday that caused minor injuries. Since Tuesday, militants have launched at least 4 drone attacks on U.S. military installations in Iraq and Syria, where U.S. troops train local defense forces and support the mission to counter the Islamic State group. The most recent drone attack was Thursday at Al-Assad Air Base in western Iraq. The Islamic resistance in Iraq posted a statement claiming responsibility for the attack, saying they had fired a salvo of rockets at the base and, quote, they hit their targets directly and precisely. Also Thursday, the Al-Tanf garrison in southeastern Syria was struck by drones. U.S. troops have maintained a presence at the base for a number of years to train Syrian allies and monitor Islamic State militant activity. Now, there's obviously no mistake that this is a direct response to American involvement and in support of Israel, even though we're hated almost equally. I mean, Americans are almost viewed as repugnant as Jews are to these Arab nations and these jihadist groups, not only because we support Israel, but because we're still known to the world for our Judeo-Christian values and foundational beliefs. That should tell you something about the liberals who are trying their darndest to revolutionize our culture. As a Christian, there's nothing wrong. In fact, there's everything good about swearing allegiance to the American flag. Why is that? Because of the virtues of which the flag flies. It speaks to our providential founding and has been for nearly 200 years a symbol of freedom to those who seek it. You can fly the American flag with pride from your front porch or out in the front yard. You can even hang one on the wall in the house, the garage, the office, or wherever you wish. I recommend getting a flag that will last and withstand the weather throughout the seasonal changes of the year. So check out the supplies at Allegiance Flags. Check the link in the show notes or head over to WeTheFreeShow.com for more military and first responders Get 10% off all orders.